Hey, what's up guys? I'm Mr. Chris with Infotainment.com. Today I'm in the current generation 22 and newer Ford Maverick. As you can see, we have our original 8-inch screen here. This is the Sync 3 module. We're going to be upgrading this to Sync 4, which is wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto with embedded navigation. If you want to see how I do this upgrade, you're going to want to stick around. I'm going to show you how to do it. Alright, so when you're going from Sync 3 to Sync 4, basically all you need is an APIM, replacement APIM. This is a Sync 4 APIM, and our conversion harness. We're actually going to reuse the screen, so we don't have to take that out at all. Where we're going to start is behind our climate control bezel. We have to pull this. This is going to give us access to where our APIM is stored. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to start the bottom with my panel tool, and you can sometimes get this with your fingers, but this dash is a little slippery, so there we go. Once you get it started, you just pop it the rest of the way out. This held in with a bunch of clips, and I actually don't even have to remove it. I'm just going to set it right there. So once you have your climate control out of the way, basically you have this foam pad here and a couple of harnesses. This foam pad is held in on the sides here by these clips that are holding these harnesses down. You can go ahead and pop each clip out. It's one of those Christmas tree style clips. Like that there. And you can see it just goes right through this pad here. If you rip it, don't worry about it. It's not extremely important, but we are going to put it back when we're done. Now what we need to do is remove the entire ACM. Our APIM is actually located right above this ACM behind our AC ducts. So we'll go ahead and pop all these connectors out. And now we can pull out the 4 7mm screws. And now we can just pull straight back on our ACM. Kind of got to wiggle it around these harnesses. And we can set this aside. We'll reinstall that after we get our APIM installed. All right, so with our ACM removed, you can see we have 1, 2, and 3 7mm screws. We have to remove those. Our APIM is actually right up top here. And if you notice, I do have a magnet on me. Probably a good idea to have one of these around just in case you drop one of these down here. It can be a little chore to fish them out of there. But because this screw is so deep in there, I do have a long 7mm driver plus extension. We're going to go ahead and pull this center one out first. And that bit is magnetic, which also helps. And for the sides, I am going to use my angle driver, also with a magnetic bit. All right, so now it gets a little interesting. What we have to do, we'll pop our bracket free. There's some alignment pins that hold that bracket up there. But once it's down, you'll notice that you don't have a lot of slack here with the wires. And all of them are plugged in up top. So basically, your APIM is sitting in this orientation. We're gonna have to unplug all the connectors that are on there, and then we can fish that whole bracket and APIM out, get the new one swapped in. So you may not be able to see what I'm doing, but there's a lever connector for that main harness. Sliding that over to release the lock. And that one pulled free. And we have our USB port. So there's a couple lines left on the left side here. All right, we just got this Velcro connection and we should be free. There we go. All right, we got all our connections removed. We'll go ahead and wiggle this thing out of here. So this giant arm type bracket is kind of what you're fighting with, just working these all the way around the different little plastic brackets that are in your dash. It's really not too bad. The hardest part of it is just knowing how to disconnect your connectors. Once you do it a couple times, you'll be an expert, but basically this one has a little lever on it. So you push the button down in the center, pull that lever to the side, and that'll push this out. You have a clip here that is for your media hub. You just press down and pull straight up. The worst one of the bunch would be this guy right here. This is an LVDS cable. This is going to your screen. There's kind of a hard little push button right in the center, and then you kind of have to work it out evenly. If you just try to pull out from that wire side, it's gonna fight you. So you wanna pull up evenly and you'll be able to clear that. And this one is kind of similar, but just a push button on the side and this pops up. But now that we have this out, we'll go ahead and get our new one swapped in. We have 1, 2, and 3 Phillips screws, and it'll basically mount and install the exact same as we pulled it out. All right, so we have our Sync 3 module and bracket next to our Sync 4 APIM. As you can see, it's pretty different looking, but it mounts exactly the same. There's 3 Phillips screws holding our Sync 3 APIM in. Go ahead and get those pulled out. All right, we got our APIM mounted on our bracket. Now all that's left is to install our Sync 3 to Sync 4 conversion harness. And basically this is gonna install the same way your original one does with that little lever lock assembly. And a benefit to this is it also gives you a little bit more slack on your original wire. That is probably the tightest one out of all the connections to remove. So this will make it that much easier to get this mounted back in there. So let's go ahead and install this and then we'll reinstall the APIM. All right, we got that connected. This loop right here is for the 12-inch screen. Since we are keeping our original 8-inch screen, we don't need to worry about this. We'll just keep this tucked on the side just the way it is. And we can proceed with the install of our Sync 4 APIM. You want to make sure that lever is all the way to the side. As you push that down, it'll just pull itself right back in there. Now we can slide this in and we'll plug everything else in. All right, and when you get to the bracket, there are a couple of little hanging points that you can hang these tabs here. One on both sides. As you can see, when it lines up, it kind of just sits in there. And there's one at the front here. It'll make it a lot easier to put the 3 7mm screws back in. Go ahead and hand tighten those. All right, now we're ready to reinstall our ACM. All right, now we can go ahead and plug in our ACM. All right, and don't forget to put your little foam pad back in. I'll feed that up and then just line up the holes on the side and you can clip your wires back into place. All right, that's pretty much it. We'll snap this back into place. All right, now we're ready to test it out. All right, so we're all powered up here. We do have embedded navigation on our Sync 4, and this is all new user interface as well as the enhanced maps that you get with Sync 4. So this is gonna be completely different from your Sync 3 if you are used to that. But I previously paired both my phones. I have an Android Auto and I have an Apple CarPlay phone. And as you can see, we are completely wireless. This is seamless integration of Android Auto, everything you know and love about your Android Auto. And we can just as easily swap over to my Apple phone. So let's do that here. And there you have your Apple CarPlay. So everything you know and love about Apple CarPlay, whether you're an Android fan or an Apple fan, this is a great way to cut the cord. Completely wireless, super streamlined functionality right at your fingertips here. And if you don't want to rely on either for your navigation, you do have that embedded nav feature, so you don't have to constantly rely on your phone being connected to the radio.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that upgrade just as much as we enjoyed developing it. We were here established in 2008, and we've been helping over 100,000 customers do upgrades to their vehicle. So we carry this upgrade and so much more on our website, Infotainment.com. We service what we sell. We have a whole staff that services parts all day long. We also have in-house advisors that can advise you and help you from start to finish. We also have a compatibility guarantee. As I mentioned in the video, we will get your 17-digit VIN number to ensure that everything is programmed to the modules for a seamless installation in your exact vehicle. We also have extended warranties for those of you who would like to take advantage of that. Those of you who pulled out your old gear and you don't want it just to sit in your garage forever, we actually offer trade-in value to your old gear. So be sure to go to our website for more information on that. Last but not least, if you have a request for your vehicle, you want a factory OEM upgrade for your vehicle and you don't see it on our website, we have a product request form that our research and development department looks at every single day. So request that product and we'll get back with you with a possible solution. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and have a great day.